of the Royal Thai Government on AM 918, FM 88, FM 95.5 and FM 107. For advertising inquiries, please email us at radiothailand@outlook.com. Business News.
Brought to you by PTT, Sustainable Growth for All.
In tonight's business headlines, the Ministry of Public Health has ordered the National Health Security Office, or NHSO, to implement prescription pickups at certified pharmacies as a way to alleviate hospital overcrowding. The announcement was made by Deputy Government Spokesperson Traisuli Traisaranakul. Deputy Prime Minister and Public Health Minister Anutin Chanvirakul launched the measure on October 1st to encourage patients to pick up their prescriptions at registered pharmacies, reducing time spent on the road and in the hospital for each patient, as well as reducing the workload on public hospitals. Patients interested in participating in the scheme must be registered under the Gold Card Insurance Program. Initially, the measure applies to patients with diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma, or mental illness, and their physician must give written permission to patients for independent pickup. According to the Deputy Government Spokesperson, qualified patients may inquire about the program at the in-house pharmacy at 50 hospitals and 500 participating pharmacies. The list of all government-approved pharmacies can be viewed at worldwideweb.nhso.go.th.
We've now reached the half-hour mark on Radio Thailand's News Hour. It's time for us to bid farewell to our friends on FM 95.5 and FM 107. As for our listeners on FM 88, we'll continue with more of the latest news.
The government's recently launched
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. Your daily dose of chill with the coolest music on Radio Thailand China.
Good evening, everyone. This is Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM on a Friday, October the 4th, and it's been wet actually. As I was coming in, I was rushing, so you can imagine why, because there was a traffic jam. Yes, on a Friday evening and raining, that's like one of the worst combination ever. So I was like, oh my gosh, can I actually make it? Will I be so late? But no, I came on time, prep everything that I needed to do for the show, and got all the songs and playlists ready for everyone. So sit back, relax with me as I play a Global Top 50 hits, and of course it's probably similar to Billboard Top 100. And of course we will discuss tonight ASEAN related topics. As you can see right now, we're on YouTube live stream, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Right, something is missing tonight. What can it be? It's a person actually. Yes, you guessed it. Paul is not here tonight. He's actually on holidays in the UK, and I'm wishing him a great holiday, catching up with his family. His family is actually from Yorkshire, and he's traveling there now together with his wife, and he'll be gone for like almost a month. But I'm really happy he's taking a break, and I'm covering for him tonight because he has also done so for me some other Saturday nights when Tom and myself are not available. So it's just me, DJ Jacqueline, with you tonight. No, Paul is not with us, but the music stays the same, which is Global Top 50, and we still have the same topic, which is ASEAN, right? So stay with me, and I'll come back later at 8 o'clock what exactly we will be talking about tonight. So let's spin some latest music on the roll. I've put together some of my personal favorites, but I'm sure all of you are familiar out there, especially if you listen a lot to all the charts all over the world. And we'll start with, of course, Jonas Brothers, Sucker, and then 2 other pieces before we come back. So don't go nowhere. Stay with me on a Friday evening if you're having your dinner, after a long day of work, after school. There's no school actually. From what I understand, there's a 1-month holiday right now. So after a long day of work, or you're just relaxing at home, so relax together with me, DJ Jacqueline, on a Friday night, October the 4th, and I'll be right back.
Relax Time Radio, 93.25 FM, accompanying you every night with the coolest music on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
We go together, better than birds of a feather, you and me. We change the weather, yeah. I'm feeling heat in December when you found me. I've been dancing on top of cars and stumbling out of bars. I follow you through the dark, can't get enough. You're the medicine and the pain, the tattoo inside my brain. And baby, you know it's obvious, I'm a sucker for you. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you. Yeah, any road you take, you know that you'll find me. I'm a sucker for all the subliminal things no one knows about you, about you, about you, about you. You're making the typical me break my typical rules. It's true, I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Don't complicate it, yeah. Cause I know you and you know everything about me. I can't remember all of the nights I don't remember when you're around me. I've been dancing on top of cars and stumbling out of bars. I follow you through the dark, can't get enough. You're the medicine and the pain, the tattoo inside my brain. And baby, you know it's obvious, I'm a sucker for you. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Any road you take, you know that you'll find me. I'm a sucker for all the subliminal things no one knows about you, about you, about you, about you. And you're making the typical me break my typical rules. It's true, I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. On top of cars and stumbling out of bars. I follow you through the dark, can't get enough. You're the medicine and the pain, the tattoo inside my brain. And baby, you know it's obvious, I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Any road you take, you know that you'll find me. I'm a sucker for all the subliminal things no one knows about you, about you, about you, about you. You're making the typical me break my typical rules. It's true, I'm a sucker for you. I'm a sucker for you. On a Saturday night in the summer, sundown and they all come out. Lamborghinis and they rented hummus. The party's on, so they're heading downtown. Everybody's looking for a come up, and they wanna know what you're about. Me in the middle with the one I love it. We're just trying to figure everything out. We don't fit in well, cause we are just ourselves. I could use some help getting out of this conversation. Yeah, you look stunning people, top designer clothes, front row fashion shows. What you doing, who'd you know? Inside the world of beautiful people, champagne and roll-up nose, prenups and broken homes, surrounded but still alone. Let's leave the party. That's not who we are. We are not beautiful. Yeah, that's not who we are. We are not beautiful. Drove for hours last night and we made it nowhere. I see stars in your eyes when we're halfway there. Oh, no. I'm not fazed by all the lights and flashy cameras. 'Cause with my arms around you, there's no need to care. Don't fit in well. We are just ourselves. I could use some help getting out of this conversation. Yeah, look stunning, please. Don't ask that question here. This is my only fear, that we become beautiful people. Top designer clothes, front row fashion shows. What you doing, who'd you know? Inside the world of beautiful people, champagne and roll-up nose, prenups and broken homes, surrounded but still alone. Let's leave the party. That's not who we are. We are not beautiful. Yeah, that's not who we are. We are not beautiful. We are not beautiful.
We could leave the Christmas lights up till January. And this is our place, we make the rules. And there's a dazzling haze, a mysterious way about you, dear. Have I known you 20 seconds or 20 years? Can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever? And take me out and take me home. You're my lover. We could let our friends crash in the living room. This is our place, we make the call. And I'm highly suspicious that everyone who sees you wants you. I've loved you 3 summers now, honey, but I want them all. Can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever? And take me out and take me home forever and ever. You're my
Relax Time Radio, 93.25 FM, accompanying you every night with the coolest music on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. You're with me, DJ Jacqueline, on Friday, October the 4th. And yes, there was a triple play. First was from Jonas Brothers, Sucker. And then we have Taylor Swift just now, which is the piece Lover from her latest album. And prior to that was Ed Sheeran, Beautiful People. Hope you guys enjoyed that triple play. If you've just joined us, you can find us on YouTube live stream. Sorry guys, because sometimes we do Facebook, but tonight it'll be YouTube live stream, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Right, we shall start with some news first before we go on to our topic at 8 p.m. And usually on a Friday night, we cover topics on ASEAN. So in the past, DJ Paul Sugars, who is not with us tonight, will touch on travel, food, politics, economics, and topics of all kinds. And tonight we will actually talk about something quite specific to women, because I know I made that choice of the topic, right? But related to ASEAN. So what can it be? I'll keep you guessing, yeah? And I'll definitely come back at 8 p.m. with the topic. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Right, we have some interesting news coming up. And the first of which really is there is a Global Climate Strike Week at Vari Chiang Mai International School. Now, this is really interesting because there's this global climate movement, right, going on all over the world, particularly recently. If you know, a 16-year-old girl called Greta Thunberg, she made a thundering speech at the United Nations as well as the US Congress. So it has probably stoked a lot of controversy, but also she has a lot of supporters out there who truly believe in her message and truly believe in her voice and the issues she's bringing to the table. I think more astoundingly is that she's all of 16 years old, but incredibly mature. I'll give you an example, is that she does not wish to spend or waste her time with those who do not believe in climate change or trying to convince them about climate change, because to her it is real. So she spends all her efforts into those who share the same cause with her, and will in the next decade or so have an impact in this movement. Right. So Vari Chiang Mai International School had a week of action and education to inform the school community about the global climate crisis in response to the global climate strikes from September 20th to 27th. So the event began with a school cleanup day to mark the beginning of a week of activities through community action in their own neighborhood. So the international school students spent the morning picking up and sorting rubbish in the Nong Hoi community. And throughout the week, there will be educational focus was on topics related to climate change, and teachers were integrating this theme into all the subject areas. So for example, students in English class were looking at newspaper articles related to climate change and have discussions, etc. So I personally think this is pretty amazing, because it has to start when it comes to awareness at a very young age. I think our children, the younger they are exposed to, first of all, that they have the power of their own voice, right? And secondly, they have the power to change. I think when you empower children at a very young age, they can truly start a movement and impact the future. I think personally, starting at school levels, whether it's at primary or secondary or beyond, is a good way to get them to recognize that they have the power to change the world. They have the power to impact climate change. Okay, so related to that actually is another piece of news which is also related to climate. Basically, there's a World Cleanup Day at Ban Kam Chang Kien. Now, Chang Kien is, I think, fairly close to Changklan. So this was a World Cleanup Day and was organized by the Thai Eco Solutions, right, at the beautiful mountain village of Ban Kun Chang Kien on the morning of the 21st September 2019. And the event was sponsored by Lana Language School, Oasis Spa, and Trailhead Thailand, and of course supported by Doi Suthep and Doi Pui National Park, Thai Together Go, Isara 4x4, and Ban Kun Chang Kien villages. Now you can see, I mean, I'm looking at the news tonight. There's quite a lot about World Cleanup Day, climate change, and all of that. So I'm personally very happy that the movement has come over to Thailand. And I mean, it's like in Chiang Mai in baby steps, right? We start with baby steps that little by little we can change the whole narrative. We can change the whole environment regarding climate change by having activities as well as creating awareness through either education or activities like this. So this is what is happening right now. All right, and that's the news we have for now. And I will come back shortly with the topic at 8 p.m. We will have a break with some more songs. Yes, what do I have in store for you? Really good stuff. One of which is Post Malone. Post Malone, like Ed Sheeran, has so many songs on the Billboard Top 100. Currently the hot favorite. He's got a couple of songs that's also my favorite, and I'll just play one of it for you tonight together with Sam Smith and Khalid coming up. So don't go anywhere. Stay with me. Relax Time, Radio 93.25 FM. DJ Jacqueline with you on Friday, October the 4th.
Relax Time Radio, 93.25 FM, accompanying you every night with the coolest music on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
close, make up your mind. Tell me, what are you gonna do? It's only me. Let it go. Seasons change and our love ain't cold. Feed the flag 'cause we can't let it go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away, run away. I'm done hating myself for feeling. I'm done crying myself away. I gotta leave and start the healing. But when you move like that, I just wanna stay. What have I become? I'm looking through your phone now, oh now. Love to you is just a game. Look what I have done. I'm dialing up the numbers, oh yeah. I don't want my heart to break, baby. How do you sleep when you lie to me? All that shame and all that danger. I'm hoping that my love will keep you up tonight, baby. How do you sleep when you lie to me? All that fear and all that pressure. I'm hoping that my love will keep you up tonight. Tell me, how do you? Love will keep you up tonight. Tell me, how do you? Oh no, how did I manage to lose me? I am not this desperate, not this crazy. There's no way I'm stick around to find out. I won't lose like that, I won't lose myself. Look what I have done, dialing up the numbers, oh yeah. I don't want my heart to break, baby. How do you sleep when you lie to me? All that shame and all that danger. I'm hoping that my love will keep you up tonight, baby. How do you sleep when you lie to me? All that fear and all that pressure. I'm hoping that my love will keep you up tonight. Tell me, how do you? Love will keep you up tonight. Tell me, how do you? Oh, love will keep you up tonight, baby. How do you sleep when you lie to me? All that shame and all that danger. I'm hoping that my love will keep you up tonight, baby. How do you sleep when you lie to me? All that fear and all that pressure. I'm hoping that my love will keep you up tonight. Tell me, how do you?
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. Hang out with us every night with the coolest music in town on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. Hope you enjoyed those two songs that I played for you. And this is a Friday, October the 4th. And I think a little wet out there where I was coming into the town. it was like raining and traffic jam. So if you're caught on a traffic jam, what's the best thing you should do? Turn on your radio. Yes, turn on to Relax Time, Radio 93.25, and let me accompany you as you swing through the traffic, heading home, or going out with your friends, with your having dinner somewhere else. Let me be with you and accompany you. All right. So those 3 great songs that we have, and I just shared some news earlier about climate change, because incidentally tonight's news were all about climate change, and I found actually another one, and I'm just going to quickly mention it before we go to our topic at 8 p.m. is that Bangkok is to host the Global Climate Change Conference of 2019, and it's a second international conference on global warming and climate change. All right. So basically, Mr. Kwan Pirom Suksri, manager of the Warm Heart Foundation, Stop the Smoke Biochar project in Mecham, says it is critical that we act. Right. The global system is at a tipping point. Only informed action now will save us from going over the edge. And there's also like a plenary speaker, Dr. Fridolin Tanggang. He's a visiting professor at the Ram Kam Heng University Center for Regional Climate Change and Renewable Energy in Bangkok. He's actually part of the plenary speakers. So, and ASEAN, being which Thailand is part of, and us being chair this year, I think having a active participation, having an active interest in climate change really does bode well for the entire ASEAN region, and of course for Thailand as chair. So that's a little piece of news I wanted to share with you. Right, it's 8 o'clock, and what is the topic we'll be sharing tonight? Ta-da! Yes, we'll talk about ASEAN countries. If any of you do not know, or you've just joined in the show, every Friday we cover topics on ASEAN, and ASEAN in particular relating to the organization that Thailand is now a chair of. It consists of Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. And for me, the most logical topic we can chat about tonight, just to make it all relaxed and chill, is actually shopping in these countries. Did I hear you laughing? Because I'm laughing a little bit, because it's like, what? Shopping? Yes, shopping, because shopping is a big thing. Whether you're a male or female, single, married, family, when you travel, you shop. And when you shop, you buy souvenirs, anything that helps you to remember the places that you have been to. And yes, it is a interesting topic, because you will realize that in all these 10 countries that I mentioned in ASEAN, some of the shopping scene is quite similar, but some can be very different, because it really depends on the country itself. For example, like if you compare Singapore with Laos or Cambodia, it's very, very, very different, because Singapore is an advanced economy. So the kind of shopping that's available to us is the range, the price, and all of that is very different from Cambodia or elsewhere. Right. So me being Singaporean, obviously I'll talk about Singapore, but that's not where I will start first. I will actually start with the countries that I have been to. So I've actually counted as I was preparing the topic. I've actually been to only 6 out of 10. Not bad, right? In fact, in Asia Pacific, I think I've been to most except for 2 or 3, because previously in my jobs, I was in regional roles. So I cover East Asia, Asia Pacific for human resource. That's my previous life. I was doing human resource. So I'm very familiar with Asia. I'm very familiar with ASEAN. So shall we start with one country first, which I actually go very often because it's very close to Singapore, and that's Malaysia. How many of you have been to Malaysia? If you have, you want to submit any comments or recommendations, or you think that I missed out on some stuff from Malaysia, please feel free to submit it through YouTube live stream. You can see me right now. or Facebook or Instagram. I welcome any comments that you have. Yeah, because I don't necessarily know everything. I will know only some things. And we are all here tonight to share knowledge. Not just myself, but my other co-hosts on different nights on different topics, playing different genre of music. So we all come willing to share, and of course we are also willing to learn, from listeners like you out there. If you have something interesting to share, please submit through YouTube live stream, Facebook or Instagram. Now, Malaysia. I have been to Malaysia quite a lot because across the Singapore border is a city called Johor Bahru. So if you know Malaysia, and of course the capital is Kuala Lumpur. And most tourists actually will go to the beach resorts. They are located in like Langkawi, that's one place, and then of course there's Penang, and then there's the islands in the Mersing area. There's like a bunch of islands. They're all beautiful. Pulau Sibu, Pulau Rawa, Pulau Besar. There's a number of them. So if you do travel up to Malaysia and you love being out in the beach, you love clear blue sea and white powdery sand, these are the kind of places you can go. So Langkawi is a little bit more luxurious. They have very high-end resorts over there that truly pampers you and give you an amazing holiday, very much similar to Bali. Check it out. So in terms of shopping, what does Malaysia have? For us Singaporeans particularly, we actually go there to buy groceries. You must be like, groceries? Yes, because the Malaysian ringgit is weaker than the Singapore dollar. And we are able to stretch our dollar when we go over to stock up on our groceries, right? And besides that, what would you get? You will actually get foods, because Malaysia food has some unique stuff that's very tasty actually. Like they have the sambal, which is kind of a chili thing. So they have sambal, anchovies. Actually, it's called ikan bilis, right? They have sambal anchovies. You can buy them. They have a lot of dried fruits as well, and they've got a lot of paste that you can use to cook. One of it is shrimp paste. When I go to Penang, I actually buy a typical kind of belacan, which is shrimp paste. Now, shrimp paste is used quite often in Asian cooking. It's not just Malaysia. You actually have it here in Thailand. You actually put it into your som tam. That very smelly little fish paste. Yes, that's called belacan. So when I travel to Penang, I actually buy belacan. I actually buy also very specific cookies from that place. And they are also known for a kind of biscuit. You call it pong pia. I'm actually speaking in Hokkien. Yeah, it's a kind of pastry. Inside there's a mung bean filling, and it's sweet and salty. Now you probably could find it here. I think I've seen it somewhere during the Mooncake Festival that we just recently had. Yeah, this is actually probably unique to Penang. I think Hong Kong has some as well. They call it lo po bang, which is wife's biscuit. But it's the same thing. It's like a flaky pastry on the outside, and then inside is the mung bean filling that's sweet and salty. Yeah, that's Penang, and that's what you will get from there. And what would you get from a place like Kuala Lumpur? Now, Kuala Lumpur is like any other major city. You can find most things there. You don't lack anything, and there's also nothing unique to Kuala Lumpur that you will get other than the souvenirs like t-shirts, hats, and stuff like that. So I personally don't find anything interesting in KL. I actually find more interesting things in Malacca. Yes, Malacca. If you know Malacca, it has a very strong Peranakan heritage. So what's Peranakan? Peranakan is actually a mix of Malay and Chinese. So you call them Straits Chinese because over the years they have intermarriages. So they created a subculture called Peranakan. Now Peranakan is famous for amazing food. very similar to Malay food, a lot of curries and chili-based dishes, but they're also known for desserts, which is their Nonya Kueh. Nonya Kueh is like a sweet dessert, and they have all kinds. Usually it's made of rice, just like Thai dessert, a lot of rice-based, a lot of coconut-based dessert. And what's the most interesting thing is that they also use anchan, the blue flower that you find in certain cuisines here in Thailand, whether it's a drink or in your glutinous rice. Yes, they use exactly the same anchan flower in their dessert. So you get bluish colored rice dessert, which is at the bottom, and then on the top they have this creamy pandan, kind of like a custard on top. So that's one dessert. And of course there's many kinds, and I won't spend too much time explaining them, but basically if you do travel to Malacca, you would look for Peranakan food, because that's what it's famous for. Yeah. And there's this famous walking street called Jungle Walk. So all the tourists goes there, and it's like packed tightly, so crazy on a Saturday night, but you get to eat all the unique desserts that they have, as well as the Peranakan food that I just mentioned. So that's Malaysia. That's my knowledge of Malaysia. I think it's usually more related to food for me from that perspective. I don't buy handicrafts, they have this famous sword thing that's a silver kris, right? A silver kris is like a special sword that's unique to the Malay culture. So you can kind of buy that as a display item. Or they're also famous for their kites. The Malaysia kites is pretty uniquely shaped. Yeah. And it's also a collector's item. And then you have those paper dolls that they use it for wayang, which is kind of like a puppet show, but it's almost similar to the one in Indonesia. So they do share some similarities. So these are the kind of handicrafts you would get at Malaysia. But by and by, when people go to Malaysia, they buy a lot of food stuff. It's usually food related. So that's my experience from Malaysia. And if you have something that's uniquely your own experience and you like to share with all of us out there, you may just drop me a comment at YouTube live stream. You can see me right now. Of course, Facebook and Instagram. I hope you enjoyed that a little sharing about Malaysia. Some of you may know the country more than me, especially if you're Malaysian, obviously. But I'm happy to share whatever I do know. And we'll come back for more after a break and a couple of songs with another country that I have been to. So you can guess, kind of guess, what's Jacqueline gonna talk about? It'll be a surprise. So that means you have to stay tuned. You can't go anywhere. You have to keep on listening to our show, Relax Time Radio 93.25, and I'll be right back.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM, accompanying you every night with the coolest music on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
we just talk? Can we just talk? Talk about where we're going before we get lost. Let me our thoughts. Can't get what we want without knowing. I've never felt like this before. I apologize if I'm moving too far. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Figure out where we're growing. Yeah. started off right, I can see it in your eyes. I can tell that you wanting more. What's been on your mind? There's no reason we should hide. Tell me something I ain't heard before. Now I've been dreaming about it, and it's you I'm on. So stop thinking about it. Can we just talk? Can we just talk about where we're going before we get lost? Let me our thoughts. Can't get what we want without one. I've never felt like this before. I apologize if I'm moving too far. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Figure out where we're growing. Oh, no. Penthouse view, left some flowers in the room. I'll make sure I leave the door unlocked. Now I'm on the way, swear I won't be late. I'll be there by 5 o'clock. Oh, you've been dreaming about it, and I'm what you want. So stop thinking about it. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Talk about where we're going before we get lost. Let me our thoughts. Can't get what we want without one. I've never felt like this before. I apologize if I'm moving too far. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Figure out where we're growing.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. Hang out with us every night with the coolest music in town on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM, and that was DJ Khalid with Talk. Enjoy that piece? I do. DJ Khalid has quite a number of songs actually in the charts, just like the artists I mentioned earlier, Post Malone, Ed Sheeran, you know, and always Ariana Grande, somewhere, someday, and now even Taylor Swift. She debuted her album Lover recently, and it's just like 4 or 5 songs on the charts. Yes, so we're just playing you all the latest music from Global Top 50 or basically Billboard Top 100, and I hope you enjoy each and every piece. If you just joined us, welcome to Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM on Friday, October the 4th. We are just getting into an interesting sharing session about shopping in ASEAN countries. Yes, which are the ASEAN countries do you know? Yeah, as I've mentioned earlier, there are actually 10 of them, and I won't go through all of them now, but I just talk about Malaysia. And I've asked you to guess which country am I going to talk about next? No, it's not Singapore, where I come from, and no, it's not Thailand, which is where I'm staying. It's actually Vietnam. Yes, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the country of Vietnam, especially those who go for border runs. You know, if you go to Vientiane very often. No, actually Vientiane is in Laos. I'm so sorry, I made a mistake. So basically border runs is Vientiane in Laos. So Vietnam will be Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. I'm not sure if any of you actually do border runs in Vietnam. Probably it doesn't make sense. I've not heard of anyone doing it actually, right? But for Vietnam, it would definitely be Ho Chi Minh City for most people who will visit for the first time, and of course Hanoi. So what's the difference between Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi? So Ho Chi Minh City is actually full of war history. If you understand the Vietnam War, which the Americans, the US, had with the Khmer Rouge back in the 70s. So when I visited Vietnam, there were a lot of war history, military history, and it is very, how would I say, humbling. That's the word, because it made you realize that a country that has been subjected to such wars has been through a lot. And even then, over the years, they are slowly rebuilding their economy, and I can, happily tell you that Vietnam is now one of the fastest growing economy in ASEAN. Yes, they have what you call it, a sector, basically industrial sector, manufacturing. So a lot of companies that started out with outsourcing their manufacturing to China has actually shifted to Vietnam, because apparently now it's much lower cost, and they do have an educated workforce that's coming up very quickly. So it's been like having double-digit growths for quite past few years. So yeah, definitely up and coming. And when you go to Ho Chi Minh City, obviously as you will walk through the war history and all of that. But what is amazing about Vietnam is, again, the food. Yes, Vietnamese food is, to me, pretty similar to Thai food, but a lot of vegetables. Whenever they eat a meal, you have like a whole bunch of 5, 6, 7, 8 vegetables that sits with you on your table. And then you have the famous pho, basically it's noodle soup, beef noodle soup, which is famous all over the world. They try to replicate it in the US, and you find pho everywhere, even in my country, Singapore. So we have food and all of that, and of course, because it's so closely related to food, so one of the shopping items most tourists go to when they go to Vietnam is actually dried food. So what kind of dried food would you buy from Ban Tan Market in Ho Chi Minh City? Because that's where I have been before. And it's a really big market, and it's extremely hot inside. For some reason, the air just does not circulate. And I remember sweating like crazy, right? Trying to figure out what to eat and what to buy, because whatever I'm eating is also related to what I'm going to buy. And I remember just squatting down in the heat. There's so many stalls selling amazing food from all over the country. You have food from Hue, like Bun Bo Hue is another noodle soup, and then all kinds of regional cuisines you have in Ban Tan Market. So I remember just squatting there in the heat in a small stool and slurping my noodles and sweating like crazy. Yeah, that was pretty much the experience. And after that, what do? I actually walked over to the dried goods section, and that is where you will buy stuff, and that's where your shopping literally takes place. So what did I buy? I bought dried prawns. You call it shrimp, maybe. Those tiny, tiny little prawns is shrimp. So dried shrimp, dried oysters, dried anchovies. Yeah, and Vietnamese fish sauce is actually famous. There's this particular brand that I know most chefs would use. It's called Red Boat. Yes. So the Red Boat fish sauce is from Vietnam, and you will buy that as well. And clothes are very cheap there in that market. They have another section that sells clothes, and you will find counterfeit stuff. So you maybe have like a Gucci t-shirt, a YSL, all the branded stuff, but they're all counterfeit. So you get counterfeit clothing. Yeah, very cheap. And of course, you get counterfeit bags as well. I'm not encouraging you to buy counterfeit, but I'm just telling you that these are the stuff that's there, and most tourists actually go for it. I mean, it's the same thing like when I travel to Shanghai. There's a whole market, secondary market, just on counterfeit goods. And then they have different grades, triple A, double A, or whatever it is. And then you get to buy like, they look almost like the real thing, that kind of stuff. So if that's your, that goes up your alley, you check it out and go go buy those stuff. But other than that, I remember buying a North Face backpack, like a 80 liters backpack. I bought it for really cheap because North Face back at where my home is in Singapore is really expensive. And it's not even the top of the range outdoor gear, top of the range. You would think of Patagonia or some other brands like Atrix and stuff like that, but not even top range North Face, but incredibly expensive. So I was very happy to find something that was affordable at Bantan Market. So there were like different sizes of backpackers, and of course you will have all kinds of shoes, locally made, or I don't know, they could have imported it from China as well. So very cheap shoes, basically fashion was very cheap in that market. Yeah. So, and of course when you go to Vietnam, you will buy collector's items that's related to the war. Sometimes they buy aircraft replicates, or a bullet. Yes, I'm serious. Those bullets that they use their rifles or whichever submachine guns to shoot during the war. You can actually buy the bullets as a souvenir. Yes. And then you can buy medals. Medals, yes, I'm serious. All kinds of medals. You can buy all kinds of medals. And the Khmer Rouge is communist, right? So they have this star, this red star that's on their military caps and stuff like that. So you can buy military gear as it related to the Vietnam War. Very interesting for me because I actually bought a cap that has that red star, and whenever I wear it out there on the street, people will always stop and ask me, where did you get that from? Yeah, because clearly if you do wear something like this, you have been to Vietnam. I do see a lot of Americans in Vietnam because I think to them it's kind of like a pilgrimage, as it was so much a part of American history, especially when they are growing up. And they probably need to see for themselves what Vietnam is all about and why it has impacted their history so much. And I see all of them going to the war museums, buying all the souvenirs that I talk about related to the war. And it has been, I think, most of them find it quite a very moving experience. Something very different and they didn't expect in their lives. Yeah, so do check it out, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. That's that kind of shopping. And if you go Hanoi, it'll be probably a little bit different because Hanoi has the French Quarter. It used to be a French concession, you call it, and there's very heavy French influence in Hanoi, and you find very nice boulangeries, French bakeries and French pastries. You can sit by the road and have a nice cup of Vietnamese coffee, which is what they're famous for, a croissant, or you can even have their baguette. Their baguette there is known as banh mi. They stuff it with cured meat, vegetables, and it's actually delicious. I used to eat one every morning when I was there. Yes, you can imagine how much weight I put on during my time in Vietnam. It was crazy, but it was so delicious. So delicious. Yes. And of course, there's also other more beautiful parts of Vietnam, like Da Nang, as I mentioned. So do check it out, Vietnam. That's shopping for Vietnam for me, because when I was there, that was what I experienced. But if you did experience something else and you would like to share with everyone, or, just correct me if I said something wrong, do submit your comments on YouTube live stream. You can see me right now live, or you can send us a message in Facebook or Instagram. All right. So that was Vietnam. And obviously, I will come back again with maybe 2 more countries. I think that's all the time we have for now. Possibly can't cover all 6 that I've been to. And if you do know about the other 4 in some other shows that I will come back. Actually, I'll be back next Friday, so we'll continue with this as well. Yeah, feel free to share with me as well. All right, so we'll go for another break and some more good songs. Gotta play Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello, right now the cutest couple on the planet. Love them both. They are both so cute. Their love story is so fun to watch. You know, young love is always exciting because it is innocent and it is always very vibrant and it's always full of passion. That's why I enjoy young love. I mean, when you're young, I mean, if any of you out there, you know, you're still in your 20s, you're still having young love, yeah, savor it, embrace it. I think that's really the best moments in your life when it comes to experiencing love. Yeah, and of course we'll definitely play Ariana Grande and maybe Miley Cyrus. So I'll definitely spin 3 songs in this round. So stay tuned. Do not go away, and I will be right back here on Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. Chill and relax with us every night on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
I'm going on during this time. I feel there's no one to save me. This all and nothing really got away. You're driving me crazy. I need somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved. I'm going under, and this time I feel there's no one to turn to. This all and nothing way of loving, go be sleeping without you. Now I need somebody to know, somebody to hear, somebody to have, just to know how it feels. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you help me escape. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved, and I tend to close my eyes when it hurts. Sometimes I fall into your arms. I'll be safe in your soul till I come back around. For now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love, but now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved. To let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. 'Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, yeah. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here but you're not. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost, and I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feel like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you, and you know I'll never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, yeah. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here but you're not. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your.
Sweat dripping off me before I even knew her name. La la la. You felt like ooh la la la. Yeah, no. Sapphire and moonlight, we danced for hours in the same tequila sunrise. Her body fit right in my hands. La la la. You felt like ooh la la la. Yeah, I love it when you call me. I wish I could pretend I didn't need ya, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true la la la. Oh, I should be running. Oh, you know I love it when you call me señorita. I wish it wasn't so damn hard to leave ya, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true la la la. Oh, I should be running. Oh, you keep me coming.
There's just some things that never change. You say we're just friends, but friends don't know the way Boy, I make my money and I write the check. So say my name with a little respect. All my girls successful, and you just are, yes. Do I really need to say it? Do I need to say it again? Yeah, you better stop the sweet talk and keep your pretty mouth shut. Boy, don't call me angel, you ain't got me right. Don't call me angel, you can't pay my price. Ain't from no heaven, yeah, you heard me right. Even though you know we fly, don't call me angel. See you here with somebody, just setting up my body. Yeah. Don't you know that I bite when the sun sets? Yeah. So don't you try come around me. Don't you know that I bite when the sun sets? Keep my name out your mouth. I know what you about. So keep my name out your mouth. Don't call me angel, you ain't got me right. Don't call me angel, you can't pay my price. Ain't from no heaven, yeah, you heard me right. Even though you know we fly, don't call me angel. I appreciate the way you watch me. I can't let it drop it down. I pick it up, but back it up. The county line, I fell from heaven. Now I'm living like a devil. You can't get me off your mind. I appreciate the way you want me. I can't let it drop it low. I back it up. I know you wanna think you're mine. Baby, I totally get it. You can't get, so you can't get me off your mind. Be in it together, but don't call me angel, angel, angel. Don't call me angel, you ain't got me right. Don't call me angel, you can't pay my price. Ain't from no heaven, yeah, you heard me right. Even though you know we fly, don't call me angel. Don't call me angel.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. Hang out with us every night with the coolest music in town on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM on a Friday, October the 4th. Hope you enjoyed those three pieces that I've just spined for you. Yes, they're from Global Top 50 or Billboard Top 100. It's playing you only the most current music out there. Yes, and as I can say, it's always populated by a few individuals. Ariana Grande, Ed Sheeran, Post Malone, Taylor Swift. Well, it's okay. We all enjoyed their songs. Right, we were just talking about shopping in ASEAN, and I've just got a comment from my colleague, actually, who's listening in, DJ Ram. Thank you so much for your support. You have no idea how I'm forever indebted to you. Yes. And he says he's learned a lot about Vietnam from what I just shared. Well, thank you so much. I'm happy to share my knowledge, and also happy for others to share theirs. You know, life is all about learning. Yeah, you never stop learning, no matter at what age, because once you stop learning, that's when you stop growing as a person. So always listen, absorb, try new things. Even me being here tonight alone is something I have tried with a lot of trepidation and fear. Yeah, there were some terrified moments, but it's okay. We're chill. We're good. We relax together with me as we enjoy a Friday evening, the last day of work in the work week. And yes, it's TGIF. There you go. Right, so what country shall we discuss now about shopping? I mean, okay, let's do Singapore, shall we? Just because I'm Singaporean. And I can tell you all the insights about shopping in this little red dot. Yes, why is it called a little red dot? Because it's so small. Just to give you perspective, yeah, it's about 750, I think, square kilometers. That's how big my country is. Yeah, incredibly small. And I was on holiday in Africa. I just came back actually last week, and I went to Kenya and Tanzania for a actually safari holiday, because it's something my family enjoy, because we take a lot of photography when we are traveling, and photography is one of our favorite hobbies. Of course, it creates a lot of amazing memories. So I was at the Serengeti. If you guys are Nat Geo Discovery fans out there, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, I was at the Serengeti, and it is actually a huge place. It's, I think, 14,000 square kilometers. So when the guide was telling me how big it is, I was like, what? Are you sure? I mean, wow. I mean, for us to travel in that national park to see some specific wildlife, we had to be very lucky, because it's so big. It's not like, a small park, and if you spot something, and everyone can just rush, all the safari vehicles can just rush to that place and see, let's say, a leopard or a lion, whatever, okay? But it's so big, so you have to be really lucky. And I always believe, which I would like to share with all you listeners out there, when you go for a safari holiday, it's not about you seeing the animals, it's whether the animals wanted you to see them, right? It's always a privilege. And I always pray when I enter the national park, whichever national park, that today, if it is a privilege, that they will show us, and they will share their presence with us. And I've been very, very blessed, because I've seen some really amazing and really fantastic sights. Yeah. Okay, so Singapore, very small. So what is it famous for? Do you guys know? If you know and you would like to tell me, I'm happy to receive your comments on YouTube live stream, Facebook, or Instagram. So Singapore is famous for its multiculturalism, because we have four main cultures in the country. And we have Malays, we have Indians, we have Chinese, and then we have the Eurasians, right? So a lot of it is, of course, because it's multiculturalism, is food related. You can buy a lot of stuff that's snacks and stuff that's unique to this culture. But what most people come to Singapore to buy, which I will just quickly share because I realize I don't have much time left, is electronics. Apparently, electronics are very cheap in Singapore. Yeah, and people actually go to, let's say, there's this particular place. It's called Sim Lim Square, where every tourist I know goes there to buy cameras, phones, all kinds of electronic gadgets, because apparently it's way cheaper than their own country, which is kind of true, because for us, I don't know, is it cheap for us, because prices for Singaporeans are very different, because, we are seriously manipulated by our purchasing power. Because we have such a high GDP per capita, everything is priced triple of everything else that you can find elsewhere. Really. So you do pay a price for economic success most of the time, unfortunately. So electronics is something you will buy in Singapore. Yeah. So do check it out if you're there. And because it's duty free, I'm not sure whether duty free as in it's a free trade zone and it applies to duty free. Actually, duty free you can find anywhere. In very big airports like Dubai, for example, they're famous for duty free shopping. So I'm not sure duty-free in Singapore means it's any significantly different. But I suppose duty-free is something you can always look at. Yeah. And Singapore is also well known for maybe high-end fashion. Although I'm sure you can find it in, South Korea, the more advanced economies, Hong Kong, for example. But in ASEAN, maybe you have more interesting brands compared to what you can find in of course, Vietnam or Laos. In some countries, that's a little bit different, yeah? So we do have a lot of high street fashion. We do have a lot of major labels there. Similar to what you will find in Bangkok, Yeah, Bangkok is everything as well. So some of the favorite malls I love to go in Bangkok is Central World. Everybody knows Central World. And then the Siam Paragon, of course, all name brands are there. Yeah, besides that, we also have high street fashion. So, things like Warehouse Forever 21. Forever 21 just filed for bankruptcy. I don't know if you know. Oh no, I think all teenagers out there will be like, oh no, because most of their clothes I know is from Forever 21, I love that stuff too because it's cheap and it's trendy, so you don't have to pay so much to look so good. I think that's really the trick. For shopping for clothes, you don't have to pay so much to look good. You can buy the cheaper stuff and still carry it well because it's really, really, at the end of the day, not about the clothes, it's about you being able to carry off whatever you are wearing. You can wear the cheaper stuff but still look amazing. And to do that, you have to have confidence in yourself. Yes, confidence. You can wear some cheap slipper or a plain white t-shirt that has no brand, but it's okay. It doesn't matter because nowadays people don't look for brand, People look for style and people look for attitude. So if you have confidence in yourself, it doesn't matter really what you wear. Yeah, so Singapore is famous for fashion, all kinds of fashion. I don't think it quite beats Hong Kong or South Korea, which where I've been. I still honestly think they have the best fashion clothes. And even in Bangkok, you have very interesting individual lines done by local designers. That's very quirky, very artistic and very creative as well. Very similar to Japanese subculture in terms of fashion. I like that a lot. I always like underground subculture fashion because you're going to buy something that nobody has. You'll be the only one on the planet wearing that t-shirt or wearing that pair of shoe or, just uniquely yours. And I always love being unique. So unfortunately, Singapore isn't that so unique. It's pretty much pedestrian. That's the word I would use it because it's very common. Everything that's out there is common. So there's only two things I can tell you about Singapore. Unfortunately, yes, from my little red dot. All right. So I'm just going to play one more song very quickly, and then I'll come back with the weather report, and we will wrap up, and I'll say goodnight to everyone. And I hope you really enjoyed the last 90 minutes with me because I did because I talk about all the places I've been in ASEAN and what are the kind of stuff you can shop. And of course, sometimes certain things you buy, there's a little history behind it as well as what DJ Rams mentioned about Vietnam. Yes, some countries have very, very incredible and spectacular history. All right, I'll be right back and just playing one more track and we'll do the weather report. So stay with me. Don't go anywhere. Relax Time Radio, 93.25 FM.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. Hang out with us every night with the coolest music in town on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
I'm at a party I don't wanna be at, and I don't ever wear a suit and tie. Wondering if I can sneak out the back. Nobody's even looking me in my eyes. Can you take my hand, finish my drink, say shall we dance? Hell yeah. You know I love you, did I ever tell you? You make it better like that. Don't think I fit in at this party. Everyone's got so much to say. Yeah, I always feel like I'm nobody. Who wants to fit in anyway? 'Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. You're making me feel that maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. 'Cause I don't care as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere. You're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. We at a party we don't wanna be at. Tryna talk, but we can't hear ourselves. Pictureless, I'd rather kiss them right back. But all these people all around, I'm crippled with anxiety. But I'm told it's where I'm supposed to be. You know what? It's kinda crazy, cause I really don't mind. Can you make it better like that? Don't think we fit in at this party. Everyone's got so much to say. Oh yeah, yeah. When we walked in, I said I'm sorry. But now I think that we should stay. Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. You're making me feel like maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause I don't care as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere. You're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. I don't like nobody but you. It's like you're the only one here. I don't like nobody but you, baby. I don't care. I don't like nobody but you. I hate everyone here. I don't like nobody but you, baby, yeah. Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. You're making me feel like maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I don't care as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere. You're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah.
Relax Time Radio, 93.25 FM, accompanying you every night with the coolest music on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Relax Time Radio, 93.25 FM at the last stretch. Time flies too fast. Just having so much fun talking about ASEAN and talking about shopping. I hope you have enjoyed the insights that I've shared with you based on my travels, of course. But if you know something more or you have your own personal experience on what you can shop or buy in these countries, you can always drop me a comment at YouTube live stream, Facebook or Instagram. Right, I'll just share very quickly the weather. So as I was saying, when I was rushing to the studio 90 minutes ago, it was raining. And actually, I don't expect that because the winter season actually starts now, October. It goes all the way till February, and it's my favorite time of the year in Chiang Mai. So a little surprised by the rain, but it's all good. Rain is good. Rain brings life. And what's the outlook for the rest of the week? So Saturday, risks of thunderstorms. In fact, risks of thunderstorms all the way through to Monday. Tuesday, sunny. But same thing, a risk of a thunderstorm all the way from Wednesday to Friday, right? The lowest temperature is 23 degrees, and the highest temperature is about 34 on Tuesday, which is the sunny day. Okay, between 33 to 34. It's pretty hot actually. I do find the sun relentless. No, it's quite strong. So protect yourself with sunscreen. Make sure you are well shaded, all right? And of course, with the rain, bring an umbrella with you. And when you drive safely, yeah? Don't speed. Life need not to be on a fast train. Just take your time on everything. So that's the weather report I'll share with you. And we actually don't have time for another song. And I'll just say goodnight here. And thank you so much for spending the last 90 minutes with me. It was a privilege to share my knowledge on ASEAN. Do join me again next week because I will also be covering for Paul Sugars as well. So I'll just bid everyone good night and get back to you again next week. You have a great week ahead as well as a great weekend ahead.
Relax Time Radio 93.25 FM. Your daily dose of chill with the coolest music on Radio Thailand Channel.
เพื่อนำไปพัฒนาอาชีพสร้างงานสร้างรายได้
กองทุนพัฒนาบทบาทสตรียกระดับเสริมศักยภาพสตรีในทุกมิติและพัฒนาขยายศักยภาพบทบาทสตรีให้เข้มแข็งเพื่อสร้างสังคมสู่ความเสมอภาคอย่างสร้างสรรค์มีสันติสุข
เสมอภาคเป็นธรรมลดเหลื่อมล้ำคนไทยเท่าเทียม
ประสบการณ์ของเบลล่ากับยาสีฟันเทพไทย
ตอนนี้คนนิยมใช้ยาสีฟันเทพไทยกัน